Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about my journey throughout CRNA school. Today's video is going to be a week 12 update for semester 2. If you guys are interested, let's get into the nitty gritty. So I am officially 3/4 of the way through the semester and I cannot believe it. I've said it time and time again and I'm gonna go ahead and continue to say it, that I feel like time is flying. It's also moving slow at the same time, but neither here nor there. I am at the 3/4 way through the semester and I wanted to give you guys an update on how I'm doing, what I'm feeling, and how things are going so far. So I mentioned in previous videos that I was struggling a lot, especially mentally, motivation wise, because I had gotten a really bad grade in pharm on my first exam, and that was the class to not do that in. I have only 3 exams in that class and one kind of busy work assignment that only accounts for about 10% of the grade, so each test weighs about 30%. So I had a lot weighing on my shoulders, and week 12 coming up was my moment, I guess, to make up for my losses, because I had 3 A's and 1 D coming into week 12. And I also had a patho exam coming up. I did a video last week of how I was studying for 2 exams, and if I'm kind of following up to see if that actually worked. I will say that I feel like it's not ever a good day when there's more than 1 exam in the same day, but obviously we have to get used to that because finals week is kind of like that. I mean, sometimes you get the opportunity to have it split up into different days, but in the end, it's finals week, so you have to take all the exams and the classes are on that day, whatever. I'm just jibber-jabbering at this point, but I had 2 exams on Tuesday for week 12. I had my patho exam and my pharm exam. I had mentioned already that I was doing so well in patho, and I wasn't bragging about it, so well in patho that I was willing to take a little bit of a loss and not put as much effort toward that class, because I knew I needed to put more of my attention to pharm, because I had a 66 in pharm and a 92 in patho. So in my mind, I was like, if I get a B in patho or a C in patho, I'll still manage to get a solid B in the class and I'm passing. But at this point in time, I wasn't passing pharm, so I needed to put all my emphasis to what was most important. And I also feel like, in this job, at becoming CRNAs, the majority of our job is pharmacology. So I was like, if anything, I feel like I'm gonna put the attention that I feel like is most useful to me in the future, and something that I'm gonna be doing a lot. We were going over local anesthetics, induction agents, inhalation agents, post-op nausea and vomiting. I feel like I'm forgetting uptake and distribution of the inhaled anesthetics. I don't know. It was just a bunch of things that are actually related to what we do as CRNAs. And I actually was enjoying learning the material and trying to find ways to remember it. And I will give another source of where I feel like helped me in terms of my study habits, because I knew I needed to do something different when it came to studying for pharm, but I'll get there in a second. So I put a lot of my efforts, so the majority of my day I was putting to pharm, and then a couple hours at night I was putting to patho, and I was hoping that that was enough, and I am pleased to announce that it was. I did all right. So mediocre at best, but that's what I did. I managed to get a pretty decent grade in pharm. I got an 81, and that to me was pretty good because that was a difficult test. I do feel like it lacked peer revision, if you will. The test was a little bit there was a bunch of repeat questions, and I felt like the actual material wasn't relevant to what we studied. So we kind of brought it up and we were like, hey, you omitted 2 out of the 5 lectures. There was nothing on local anesthetics and post-op nausea and vomiting. And then he realized that he uploaded the wrong exam. So he sent us another exam for us to take that would just add extra credit to our test, because I did hear that a lot of the students did not do as well as they could have. And he also put things in the test that he said he wouldn't. So that was a little bit unfair, because he said he wasn't going to talk about neuromuscular blockers, but I felt like there was no way to review reversals without, also reversals were on the test, without reviewing neuromuscular blockers. When the study thing that I was using, which I'm going to get into detail now, it had them blended together. So I was studying for both, even though I wasn't intending to, but I had no way to separate them. So, I mean, I just feel like it was just unfair across the board. So, and he realized that, and he gave us a little bit of extra points. So with the extra points and doing well in the second exam, I am sitting at a pretty, like a mid-grade B, which is so much better than a D. We also had an assignment that we turned in and he graded, so that also boosted it. So I'm actually now content with where I am. I feel like I can breathe again. Like the weight of the world is finally coming off a little bit. This semester has been quite a struggle for me. I feel like this semester has been more of like an up in the air kind of studying, and it doesn't feel so structured, and I don't like that. I feel like my anxiety gets a little increased when I don't know what I'm doing. And Patho, I feel like I have it down packed. I feel like the professor has it down packed. You know, his lectures are exactly what he teaches. There's nothing outside of that. Like, you don't have to look up supplemental material in order to do well in his class. As long as you listen in the lectures and you kind of memorize the slides, you'll be a-okay in the tests. So that's really the only class I feel that for. Like my other 3 classes, I feel like I'm kind of having to study a lot of supplemental material in order to succeed. And it's like, I don't know, I just feel like we're kind of set up for failure in a sense. Because like I get the whole concept of having to read, and I have been doing a lot more this semester, more than I ever have in my entire life, in fact. But it is material that I am interested in, so I don't feel like it's wasted time. I just don't know if it's really helping all that much, because I'm getting like mid-grade B's, low A's. Like, it's not like I'm excelling, you know. I'm reading and doing the things I'm supposed to, and I don't feel like it's really helping, because I feel like some of the questions that they're asking are kind of outside of the realm of what they've taught. So it's grad school, so you can't really complain, but I just don't feel too pleased with this semester, and I'm glad there's only 4 weeks left, and then I can move on. I do hear some negative things about semester 3, but I'd rather be in semester 3 than in semester 2. But anyways, so how I did in Patho, I actually got a low B, which is okay. I had said that I was willing to take the L on that. We were covering renal, so it was intrarenal, post-renal, and pre-renal diseases. There was a lot of them, and I kept feeling like I was mixing them up in my head. So when it came to the test, I was like, oh, I can't remember if that was with this disease process or that disease process. I did cover the material fully, so it wasn't like I skimped out on the material. I just didn't get the time to continue practicing it. I feel like if maybe the exams were split from one day to the next, it might have been a little different, but again, I'm also complaining when I shouldn't be. But yeah, I got a low B, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. You know, in hindsight, it's like I put more emphasis to pharm, and I did better in Patho. But it's okay, because I understand Patho. I understand how he asks the questions. I just didn't put the time, and I'm fine with that because I knew I needed to do that. Now, that being said, I have a paper that's due on Wednesday of this coming week, which I just finished this morning. I was editing it this morning. I sent the draft to my sister. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. She edited it for me, and I like the way it looks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a 10-page paper, a literature review, and I did it on the difficult airway algorithm and different case studies in which the algorithm really didn't suit the purpose. Like, it was just like either facial traumas, congenital anomalies, or other factors that caused them to have to use their own clinical judgment when it came to securing an airway in the patient. And I found it really interesting to read, and I really hope it's actually a decent paper. But I did give, like, because I remember I mentioned before that I wanted to work on the busy work. This was the last portion of the busy work that I needed to do. Oh, in Patho, he did assign a workbook to cover the last exam, and he released it already, but he hasn't covered any of the material. So I'm kind of like, should I do it? Like, should I get ahead, or should I save it as a study material? Because literally, if you do the workbook for Patho, you're studying for the exam. It's really great. He's awesome. I personally feel like Patho, he was my professor for A&P, and he's great. 5 stars. So, the last part of the busy work was my literature review. I finished it this morning, but I also have an exam for health assessment on Wednesday. This one is covering GI, pediatric, and geriatric assessments. And she said it was only 25 questions, so I feel like I'm like going above and beyond, but the last two tests have kind of been a little up in the air. I feel like generally she's a great teacher. I've mentioned her before that she was a new teacher that joined our cohort, and like I like her in general. She's down to earth. She was just us not too long ago, so she gets it, but I feel like she has some room to grow in terms of how she asks her question based on what she covered. She does like to say that she's very straightforward, but it's not always the case. So I'm trying to go above and beyond, and I'm using this new study strategy. I used it for pharm, and I feel like it was beneficial for me, but I'm going to talk about it now. It's Prodigy. So I had heard from previous students and from students in my cohort to get Prodigy, but it was so expensive, and I was like, I don't really feel like it's pertaining to the topic. Like, I'm just gonna stick to the PowerPoints and reading. But Prodigy is pretty much questions based on each textbook chapter. Well, they have more features, but I'm only doing the textbook chapter portion because that's what I need right now. There is some board review exams and sample tests and things like that that I'd like to delve into later on when I'm studying for boards, but for now, I'm liking the software that it has. I mean, the interface is a little iffy at best, but like for the price you pay for it, it should look better. But from what I hear is that the actual testing, like the way that the formatting is similar to the board. So it'll be nice, you know, to continue to see it, because then I'm used to the way that the screen looks, so it doesn't feel so new to me when I'm taking boards. But anyway, so for pharmacology, I covered, you know, the textbook chapters that he went over, and what I liked is like the rationales. It helped me understand a little more what the test question was asking. So really what I'm getting out of it is test taking skills that I feel like I'm lacking a lot. Like when it comes to reading the test question itself, I feel like sometimes I either read it too fast, or I don't understand what the question is asking, or I understand what the question is asking, but I have to see what keywords in particular will lead you to the appropriate answer. And I feel like Prodigy is helping me do that in terms of being able to be a better test taker. I feel like I do have really bad test anxiety, and that's not going to go anywhere. But being able to see the material multiple times with different types of questions that is being asked, I feel like I'm able to understand what the question is asking and where they're going with it. You know, like, not that I can cover up the answers and know exactly what they're asking, but I feel like I know what they're trying to get out of it, the concept that they want to see if that you've learned. So I did that for pharm, and I felt like it really did help me in being able to get an actual B in the test, because the test was a bit unfair, if you will. But now I'm using it for health assessment, and I feel like I'm able to answer the questions, and it's based off the textbook chapter. So I don't know if I want to take the time to actually read the textbook chapter, because I have until Wednesday for this test. It's like, it's a gamble, because it's really only three topics really: GI assessment, geriatric, and pediatric, which I can go over. I was a PD nurse, so I feel like I'm all right with that. You know, that's what I practiced for the last 3 years, but I don't know if I really want to read the textbook, because I feel like these questions have given me a really good foundation to understand what, you know, she wants us to know for each assessment. And I'll go over her PowerPoints again just to see, you know, if she mentions anything that I feel like I need to know, or like any tables to go over. But I feel okay-ish. I have right now in that class a 93. So I did the math. I need like mid 80s in order to maintain that A. So I do want to make sure that I keep it, because I don't want to let any classes slip through the cracks. And I feel like this exam should be decent. I just, you know, being that it's only 25 questions, I feel like you can't really get that many wrong. But I'm going to do my best, continue reviewing the material and seeing what else I could do in order to, you know, set myself up best for this exam on Wednesday, finish that literature review. What else is coming up? So yeah, going into week 13, I feel ready to, like, you know, take it on. We're covering pulmonary in Patho now, and yeah, it's 4 weeks till finals week. So that's just like, you know, it baffles my mind that I'm almost done with semester 2. The time is literally flying. So yeah, as far as how I'm sitting right now in terms of the actual grades, I have 3 A's and 1 B. It's better than a D, guys. 3 A's and 1 B, and I am really happy with that. I don't know if you can tell, my mood is just so much better. I don't know why I feel like grades define me, and it makes me look like a loser and an idiot and somebody who can't actually handle this kind of thing. But it was one bad test and I was letting it define me, and I'm doing my best to try to not beat myself up about certain things. It was just a bad test. I didn't have the right study strategies. I wasn't aware of how this man asked his questions. So I really can't hold myself to such a high standard when, you know, I'm just kind of learning as I go. I'm trying to be better in terms of being a student. So I've also got to, like, you know, roll with the punches. But it is what it is. I feel happy. I feel healthy. I feel good. I am having a little bit of issues GI wise, and in terms of swelling of my abdomen. I'm having like a lot of pain, and it spans all from anxiety and nerves. So I'm really trying my best to find my triggers for my inflammatory bowel issues, and I'm not having the most success. I'm having some trouble along the way. I am finding the triggers pretty easily, but again, it's also like, is it the food or is it my nerves? Am I just stressed? So I'm just eating bland chicken right now and trying to see what are the triggers of my stomach pains and trying to eliminate them, even though those foods are amazing. But obviously I'm in constant pain when it comes to my stomach, and that doesn't help my moods. It gives me more headaches. I feel like I have had less headaches since I've been trying this food trial thing and my little food diary. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you updated along the way. But yeah, as far as school updates, look out for my week 16 update, which will be after semester 2, and I try to come up with CRNA type content along the way, trying to keep it structured and niche to what I want to my channel to go to. I do feel like there are some things that I want to talk more about, like my hobbies and things that interest me, but that will be later on. I just want to keep it CRNA content for now, just because I feel like I don't want to distract my viewers if you're following me for a certain reason and I'm talking about other things, you know, blah blah blah. But anyway, sorry, my memory card was full, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish out this video. I apologize that I was rambling so much. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the study strategies that I'm using now with my other classes that I'm having to read more, and I feel like it's effective for me. I'll probably make a video just on Prodigy Anesthesia itself, how to use it, I don't know, the little features that it has and whatnot, but that'll be for a future video. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!